Alrighty everyone, welcome back to Max's Mining Channel. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the X11 Breakout board on the server power supplies. So this X11 Breakout board is compatible with many power supplies. Some of you probably already have it shipped with whatever power supplies you've bought. And I just want to talk about the proper configuration and the proper use of these X11 Breakout boards. So, here we go. Number one here is, I would say, the voltage meter. So what does that voltage meter actually read? It says here 12.2. So 12.2 volts is the amount of voltage on the rail. So you have a rail of PCIe connectors on a rail of power, and that rail is running at 12.2 volts. So all these wires here will be, and all these connectors will have 12.2 volts running through them. Now, what does that mean for the overall voltage of my machine? So this machine is rated for, as you can see here, if it can go from 100 volts to 240 volts, and the output is 750 watts max. Therefore, even if I increase the let me focus that. Even if I increase the voltage, or if I use 240 volts, it would stick to 750 watts max. Whereas on this guy here, we have a beefier power supply. It says there it could take 240 volts, 120 volts as well. But at 120 volts, I don't know if you see this right there. At 120 volts, this will run 900 watts, and at 240 volts, this can run 1,200 watts. As you can see here, the breakout board has two readouts.
Alright, so in order to calculate your power draw using this breakout board and the meters here on the breakout board, the LCD meters or LED meters, you should simply do. So the top one is the current, which is like an amperage meter sort of, and the bottom one is a voltmeter. Now the voltmeter is telling you what is on each PCIe slot. So right now each of these PCIe slots have 12.1 volts going through them. So in order to find out your total power draw on your unit, you would do 45 or 46 or whatever your average is times 12.1, and that would give you your total power drawn in watts on your device.
And 12.1 is the amount of voltage running on each PCIe slot. So I just wanted to show you guys that even though it says 12.1 volts, I mean, this is running on 240 volts. This is connected to a C13 to C14 connector to a triplet PDU, which is connected to something like this, a 30 amp 240 volt outlet. So yeah, also want to say that you guys should try to space out your connectors. This one properly connected? Yeah. You guys have to you should space out your connectors so that not every connector is on the same rail. Like, you should have one here, one at the other end, one somewhere in the middle, vertically and horizontally. So you try to like space out the usage on your rails. Eventually, when it gets filled up, it might look something like this, but as you can see, I still tried to kind of randomize which PCIe connectors I use and try not to use the same rail on it, even though yeah, I could have probably put a little bit more weight on those last PCIe slots, but anyways, besides the point.
Now the last thing I'd like to show you guys is how to connect these bad boys. So you're gonna smash this breakout board into the sorry for, you know what I mean. You're gonna connect this breakout board into that power supply, and you're gonna have to take a Molex from your ATX PSU here. This is the way I've done it. I'm not sure if there's an other way. There might be a connector to directly plug the your server power supply to your motherboard, but I'm unaware of how yet. So the way I do it is you would take your Molex connector from your PSU there, your ATX PSU, and plug it into your server power supply Molex connector over there. And then if you have more than 2 power supplies that you want to daisy chain together, well, then you would take the like right in the center there's this like a 4-pin, I think, connector that would go from this one to this little 4-pin connector right there, and that's how you would daisy chain them from this one to the next one. Let's say if you had 3, so you can keep daisy chaining them in that way.
This concludes the little information session on the X11 Breakout board. Hope I taught you guys something. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.